second of two Indiana Hydro events, the 47th Indiana Governor's Cup, held in the quaint Middle America town of Madison on the Ohio. One of the oldest courses on the unlimited hydroplane Thunder Tour, presented by Las Vegas. The sleepy river town awoke to the dominant boat of the season, Miss Budweiser, who has won the first two events, driven by Dave Villwock, making the fastest qualifying lap speed of 158 miles per hour. The Ohio began chewing them up early, like local driver Mike Hansen for DeWalt Tools, who recovered after almost going over in the first turn on an early qualifying lap. Mike Hansen was able to limp back to the pit area with a badly damaged right sponson. And the DeWalt crew putting some of their sponsors' tools to work, getting busy on a fiberglass fix. The DeWalt team made those repairs in time to get back on the water and qualified a very respectable fourth. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Montgomery. You know, the 13,000 residents of Madison are more than just fans of the DeWalt team. In fact, they own the racing team. Now, you'd think that having 13,000 owners in the crowd might put a little pressure on a driver.
It doesn't really add any more pressure to me. Nobody can put more pressure on Mike Hansen than Mike Hansen can. And we want to do real well here this weekend, be in our own hometown. And it's just a tremendous feeling whenever Charlie Grooms or my brother key up the mic to tell me something's going on during the race. I can hear nothing but the fans screaming for us, and that's a lot of support, and it makes me even try even harder.
The DeWalt might be the local favorite, but there's another team here who has a string of victories on the Madison race course. Tom Deeth won himself a couple of times here in Madison, and he's in that camp.
Close call driver Mark Tate has won this race 2 years in a row. But earlier this season, they've struggled a little bit. Here at Madison, though, they've stepped it up. They're a strong second in qualifying, and they're hoping that their frustrations are now behind them.
Well, we started out a little slow this year, and we've had a lot of frustrating weekends. But, you know, hopefully we can change that all here in Madison. We've had great success here.
This is a tight race course here at Madison. Do you have it figured out?
Well, I don't really know if we have it figured out, if we just got something special on our side. You know, Kenny Warsher lives here, makes his home here in Madison, Indiana. He works on our crew. Maybe he's our good luck charm here.
And we'll go on board the close call with Mark Tate around a race course, Tom, that you've been on. It's a long, narrow one.
Long straightaways and very, very tight turns. Coming out of turn 2 here onto the backstretch, there's a sandbar, causes a lot of rough water. Now we go into that long back straightaway.
And on the horizon, Tom, a bridge. The drivers are going to go under at about 190 miles an hour. That could be a little intimidating.
Actually, it's very intimidating, especially for the rookie drivers. It was for me anyway, to see that big bridge piling coming up so fast. Something you have to get used to on this race course.
11 boats qualified, a very narrow race course, Tom. We're going to run 4 boats per section rather than the usual 5 or 6.
Yes, and in the first 2 preliminaries, we're also going to have an A, B, and a C section.
And in the winner-take-all final 4 boats. In the front row, we'll have 2 trailer boats. The Budweiser team with 2 early season victories leading in O'Doul's High Points, and the DeWalt Tools, owned by the residents of Madison right here, currently in second place. And those 2 will hook it up in Heat 1A, which is on the water now. The DeWalt will be in lane 1 with Mike Hansen in the cockpit. Dave Villwock and the Miss Budweiser in lane 2. Ken Muscatel's Computers and Applications in lane 3. And the pace boat on the outside, Mike Jones in the Miss X side.
Green flag start. That's a beautiful shot from our Labatt, eye in the sky, heading toward the first turn.
Mike Hansen has the inside in the yellow DeWalt, but the first boat to turn left is Dave Villwock in the Miss Budweiser. Already, Tom, we see the boat speed as he heads up the backstretch with the early lead.
Budweiser pulling away now, exiting turn 2. DeWalt Tools running in second place, but look at the ride of the Miss Budweiser. That's just a Cadillac ride.
The DeWalt showing signs of improved speed this season after a lot of work in the offseason, but you can see the overlap now the Budweiser has, trying to catch the red boat, a handful for anybody. So Mr. Hansen has his work cut out for him here. Just a great boat ride for Dave Villwock and Bernie Little's Red Rocket.
And we've got a side-by-side boat race going for second place. Ken Muscatel in Computers and Applications and Michael Hansen in the Miss DeWalt putting on a great show here on the Ohio River. Smooth water conditions today.
That is Dr. Muscatel on your left in the blue and white boat. He's outside the Budweiser's wake. On the inside is Mike Hansen in the DeWalt. He'll be okay as long as Dave Vilwalk leaves him room in there to get through these tight turns, and there's no reason why he wouldn't with that big lead.
Beautiful shot here from our Labatt Eye in the Sky. Miss DeWalt in second place, hugging the buoys real close, dodging some of that rough water. Budweiser strong in the lead.
Dave Vilwalk and the Miss Budweiser leaving plenty of room for Mike Hansen and the DeWalt to come through that very tight turn on the inside, but even at reduced speed, Michael being careful as he should be. Now he sets up the back straightaway in pursuit of this boat, our leader, Miss Budweiser. Now we're on board with Dave Vilwalk. Tom, you've been in that cockpit.
Boy, look at the intensity in his eyes, and he's looking at the buoys, looking to his left, fighting that wheel. The G-forces are incredible in the turn. You have to have a lot of upper body strength, and the body takes a lot of abuse.
These drivers have to stay in shape to take that pounding. There is the outside view of Miss Budweiser. Ran that lap on our Zodiac Sports Watch at 142 miles per hour. A very, very good lap for the Bud. And you see that Mike Hansen in the yellow DeWalt is still right there, less than a rooster tail back, running on the inside. And once again, Dave Vilwalk will swing wide in the Budweiser, leaving Mike Hansen plenty of room.
Mike has the inside lane. He's kind of settled into that second place, but a close second for Mike.
Again, we mentioned that the DeWalt is a team that these guys right here who have found a lot of speed over the winter. They lightened that boat up a little. The boat rides better. Mike Hansen expected to be a factor this season.
Budweiser in the final corner. Look at that wall of water coming off that skid through that turn.
And that skid fin keeps the boat from just sliding sideways. Bernie Little and his wife Jane anxious now as they see the checkered flag flying, as it has so many times in their long racing career. And Miss Budweiser and Dave Vilwalk are the winners of Heat 1A. Remember, Dave and the other drivers trying to make their way to the winner-take-all final. He has now scored 400 points in his first heat. That's the maximum. 300 points for a second place finish will go to the yellow boat, the DeWalt Tools, with Mike Hansen aboard. Third place will score 225, and fourth, 169. Here's our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard after the running of Heat 1A. Welcome back to the Ohio River, the Budweiser Indiana Governor's Cup. We are set for the running of Heat 1B. 4 boats on the water. On the inside, it'll be Mark Webber and the Miss R.S. Easton. Mark Tate and the close call will be in lane 2. Steve David and the Prime Star in lane 3. And the pace boat on the outside, Rick Christensen and the piston-powered Master Tire. The green flag flies. Steve David made a great start in lane 3 in the black and yellow Prime Star.
Mark Tate leading the group going into the turn 1. Real close quarters down there. Mark Webber, though, exiting tight on the buoys and in the lead.
Looked like the close call in between boats, hit some rough water that you've talked about in that turn, slowed him down just a bit, and now young Mark Webber, his first season in Fred Leland's second boat, the R.S. Easton, is our early leader up the back straightaway. The boats running second and third are in his rooster tail. You can see Miss Prime Star, the black and yellow boat on the outside, as they go into the rooster tail, and you just get a peek at the close call running in the rooster tails.
Very tight quarters in turn 3. Close call, eating a lot of water, and Miss Prime Star swinging way wide toward the bridge abutment. But Mark Webber still leading this race on the inside.
Close call, falling back a bit. Mark Tate will have some catching up to do. He has the boat speed to do it, but right now it is Mark Webber showing the way in the R.S. Easton. End of lap 1 at 138 miles per hour on our Zodiac timer. Steve David running hard in the Prime Star on the outside, trying to keep up.
Wow, Stephen David just took some air and hit a roller, and now he's swinging way wide toward the perimeter buoy, but has got it under control heading up the backstrap.
Miss Prime Star getting very, very loose in that tight first turn, and now you see the boat underway again. He did not lose a position. Still running in second place is Steve David as he goes up the back straightaway in pursuit of young Mark Webber in the R.S. Easton. A bit of a surprise leader right here. A new driver in Fred Leland's second boat, doing a great job here in Heat 1B. And there he comes under the bridge, through the turn, turning left to come down the front straightaway. And I'm sure that crew, Tom, is very excited on the beach to see their young driver doing so well.
Miss R.S. Easton with Mark Webber driving. He's doing a fantastic job in this particular heat, running way out in front. Stephen David running second, and Miss Prime Star.
Zodiac lap speed for Steve David in the Prime Star, 135 miles per hour, running in second place. The question, what has happened to the close call? Mark Tate expected to challenge and perhaps win this heat. So far, the best he's done is third place, and we'll have to find out whether that boat is healthy. We did see him hit a hole at the start, and you've talked about how rough it can be in that first turn.
First turn, exiting first turn, there's always a big groundswell there and a lot of rough water.
There you got to look at the close call, running third in pursuit of this boat, and that is Steve David trying to hang on to second place in the Prime Star. And when Mark Tate and the close call are behind you, that can be a tall order. Now turning left one more time, it is Mark Webber in the RS Easton Hotels, and he remains our surprise leader so far.
This has got to be the story of the day. Young rookie driver Mark Webber still leading this race, and looks like he might pull off his first victory.
And the checkered flag will fly for young Mr. Webber and the RS Easton Hotel, a very happy crew on board. And now we're going to have a drag race for second place, and just hanging on is Stephen David in the Prime Star. There is our fourth place boat, the Master Tire, with Rick Christensen in the cockpit. So the close call, and Mark Tate unable to move up into third place. They'll settle for second. As a very happy winner comes back to Fred Leland's pit area, that is Mark Webber, and our winner of Heat 1B, the Miss RS Easton Hotels, picking up 400 very valuable points. 300 to Steve David, a good showing for the Miss Prime Star. 225 and a disappointing third place finish for Mark Tate in the close call.
Hey, Mark, your first unlimited heat win ever.
Yeah, I got a pretty good coach. You probably think so. Yeah, I'm going to thank you this time, Tommy. You've been talking to me for 2 weeks, and I went to the best, and so far it's working. Tell you what, this team, they worked really, really hard. It's coming together. My confidence is getting built up. There's more out of this 99. Just hang on. Give me some more seat time, and there's more to come.
Well, we got a couple more heats today to go, but this was a great one.
Oh, yeah, this one, we needed this one bad. The team needed it, and because of the format, we needed 400 points. So we'll talk later and make sure I didn't screw something up, but other than that, we're ready, man.
The first of what will be many heat wins for that young man, and we'll be back with Heat 1C right after this. Welcome back to Madison, Indiana, where the close call racing team is regrouping, attempting to solve the problems they encountered in Heat 1B, and perhaps a new engine is the answer. Speaking of regrouping, the defending national champion Pico American Dream of Fred Leland off to just a bit of a rocky start here in 1997.
Oh, I think we're operating as good as we did last year. You know, it upsets the team some when you lose some people and you have to rebuild it. But, you know, running very well. And Dave's a big part of that, I'm sure.
Dave, of course, is Dave Vilwalk, who won a national championship for Fred Leland last year in the Pico. Now he's in the Miss Budweiser, and Mark Evans is in the blue boat in the middle of your screen, the Pico American Dream. On his left, lost in the rooster tails as the green flag drops, is his brother Mitch in the Appian Geronimo, the yellow boat. And on his right, on the outside, Nate Brown in the truck gear. They're into the first turn. And once again, we see the top qualifier in this heat, the Pico American Dream, choosing lane 2. Now the question, Tom, is after that choice is gone, would you rather be in lane 1 or out there where Nate Brown is in lane 3?
If it was up to me, I'd be out on the outside in lane 3. This is a very tight race course, and the water conditions are just a little bit better out there.
And you saw the truck gear with Nate Brown aboard accelerate very well off the exit pin, running right beside the Pico American Dream, who had a little bit of an advantage at mid-stretch. Now, into the turn one more time, and Nate will try to hang it on as we go on board with Nate Brown in the truck gear, getting a very rough ride. Tom, you've been there.
Boy, you can tell from that helmet cam shot that he's getting bounced around really good, heading by the bridge abutment right now, rooster tail off to the left of Mark Evans, and the truck gear, though, is running a strong second place.
Nate pretty much built this boat over the winter for Steve Woomer. It's his second boat, and now you see the yellow boat coming up on the inside. That is the Appian Geronimo, our surprise second place finisher in the Gold Cup in Detroit. Mitch Evans doing a great job in that boat. He's going to move up now and challenge the Pico on the inside. Mitch Evans got through that tight first turn in great shape in lane 1.
This is the brother battle. Mark and Mitch Evans, and Jerry Rise, the owner of Appy and Geronimo, has got to be extremely happy with the way his boat's running.
These two have hooked it up in snowmobiles, small boats, race cars, anything you can race. The Evans brothers have gone at it, and right now they are in two of the fastest boats in the world as they prepare to hook it on the skid fin and turn left and come down the front chute here on the Ohio River. The Pico American Dream, and Mark leaving a lot of room for brother Mitch on the inside and perhaps giving him just a little bit of an advantage there, turning on the smaller radius.
Well, it's the shortest way around the racetrack, but it's not an advantage on this racetrack because the boat bogs down coming off the corner.
Look at the great boat ride. Mitch Evans getting in the yellow Appy and Geronimo in pursuit of brother Mark out ahead in the Pico American Dream. And that is where that team spent the entire 1996 season, winning the national championship. Back in third, Nate Brown's helmet cam. He is really getting beat up.
That's a brutal ride. You can see the way the boat is jarring back and forth. You get blurred vision when that happens.
And for all that, you get third place. Now we're on the final lap for the Pico American Dream. Mark Evans under the bridge for the last time. He'll turn it left once more and bring it down to the start-finish line. Unless something happens aboard the red, white, and blue boat, he will be our winner of Heat 1C. And it should be back-to-back victories for Fred Leland. Remember, the teammate to this boat, the RS Easton, won the last heat with Mark Webber aboard. We'll have to go back to the record books and find the last time that an owner won consecutive heats with two different boats as the Pico American Dream flies across the finish line and takes the checkered flag. The winners of Heat 1C. Second place will go to brother Mitch in the Appy and Geronimo. And our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows Nate Brown and the truck gear in third place with 225. Let's go down to the winner's dock.
Hey, back-to-back wins here for the Fred Leland team and against your brother, too.
Oh, heck yeah. You know, it's tough to close the door on little brother, but what the heck, that's part of racing, man. It was a good race. Both boats are running fine, and it's a fun win. All right, Mitch.
In nearly 50 years of racing here in Madison, many of the fans have built up impressive collections of memorabilia. But while these collectors are trading and selling, Jim Grams from the University of Notre Dame, class of 1993, is putting together a collection to make sure nobody ever forgets one of the sport's great racing teams.
Our objective is twofold. We started this project in 1993. We've been collecting as much Notre Dame racing team memorabilia as possible, which we like to archive at Notre Dame. Secondly, we are selling merchandise to hopefully raise money to see a vintage Notre Dame boat run again.
If you have Notre Dame memorabilia, Jim would like to talk to you, and you can reach him through the university. We'll be back with more racing from Madison right after this. Welcome back. Unlimited Thunder Tour presented by Las Vegas from Madison, Indiana. Note the distance from the shoreline up to the midway. If you had been here just a few weeks ago, it didn't look anything like this. This is the view looking down Vaughn Drive, which runs along the Ohio River here in Madison. As you can see, on race weekend, it becomes a midway. You can also see that it's well above the race course on the Ohio River, which is behind me. Now, you'd think in case of flood, you'd want to be up here high and dry, right? Not on March 7th and 8th of 1997, when the floods that devastated the Midwest put the water level 4 to 5 feet above my head where I'm standing right now. Businesses and homes here along Vaughn, including the Regatta office right across the street, were totally devastated. The water level reached a peak 57 feet above flood stage, 80 feet higher than it is today, very near the record set in 1937 and 1964. Houses like this one were badly damaged, but like most of Madison, it's been dried out and repaired. And the river, thankfully, is back where it belongs, nearly 2 blocks away. And we are flooded for requests for our next heat of racing. In it, you'll see Nate Brown in the Miss Truck gear. We've been on board with Nate and the helmet cam a couple of times. Nate's part of a 2-boat team owned by Steve Woomer out of Seattle. And we asked Steve, is it tougher now that he has 2 boats on the water?
Well, I don't know. I've got awful capable help in both cases, and we got a volunteer crew on the truck gear, and Nate running that operation, and everything's going pretty smooth right now. Maybe I should find some wood to knock on, but right now everything's going real smooth, and the truck gear boat's running about the middle of the pack, and that's where we expect it to happen.
And the draw for Heat 2A put the Appian Geronimo in lane 1, the truck gear in lane 2, DeWalt Tools in lane 3, Miss Exide, the pace boat, the yellow, blue, and white one on the outside. The green flag flies, and we are racing into the first turn in the aforementioned Nate Brown in the truck gear, the early leader, doing a great job of getting through that first turn. On the inside, the yellow boat once again is Mitch Evans in the Appian Geronimo.
Nate Brown in the truck gear doing a beautiful job getting through turn 1, heading up the backstretch, has a beautiful ride. We're seeing the Exide dead in the water. Appian Geronimo strong second place. Nate Brown flying the boat a little bit on that backstretch, heading for turn 3 and 4.
Now this could be a great boat race as these two are fairly evenly matched. Normally the advantage would go to the boat on the inside, the Appian Geronimo, but Nate Brown is probably where you really want to be, out and about lane 2.
He's got good water out there in lane 2, and going through turn 1 and 2, he'll miss that rough water caused by the sandbar. But underneath the bridge right now, strong commanding lead. Miss DeWalt coming up on the outside. Great battle for second place.
And you can hear the cheer of the crowd as the hometown hero comes by. Mike Hansen in the yellow DeWalt giving chase now, moving up into second place, and he has the advantage on the outside, Tom. I think he'll get better water out there than Mitch Evans on the inside of the Appian Geronimo.
He'll get better water out there. You can see the pounding even in first place water that Nate Brown has taken, but Miss DeWalt will get better water out there. You can let the boat have its head coming off the corner, so it'll accelerate much faster off the turn.
Not as bad for Nate, though, as when we saw him back in third place. Now he's out ahead, and it's definitely smoother out there, but you can see he is being challenged by two yellow boats. The one you're seeing now is the Appian Geronimo running to his left. The DeWalt is out to the right. Our fourth boat is out of it, but trying to restart is Mike Jones in Miss Exide, and he may rejoin the fray here. We'll keep an eye as the truck gear comes through the turn, once again leading. Second place now is the Appian Geronimo, and in third but challenging for second, the other yellow boat, the DeWalt, as our leader Nate Brown in the truck gear has one lap now to go as he crosses start finish. Our race for second is tightening up now. Mike Hansen in the DeWalt, the yellow boat on your left, expected to win this heat, battling for second place as he moves up slightly ahead of the Appian Geronimo into second. But our leader is still Nate Brown in the truck gear, a surprise winner again on his way to the checkered flag here in this heat. The race up the backstretch for the last time, and once again our leader is in lane 2, which has been the quick one all day.
And DeWalt picked first, and they actually picked lane 3.
A bit of a surprise there, and a surprise that they're running third, as that yellow boat, the Appian Geronimo, is in second place. The DeWalt just out of your picture to the right. A quarter of a lap to go now for this boat, the truck gear. Steve Wilmer's second boat with Nate Brown and a volunteer crew, having a great day so far as he turns left for the last time, and he will head for the checkered flag as you see the Appian Geronimo and then the DeWalt following him through the turn under the bridge. And now the checkered flag flies for Nate Brown and the truck gear, our winner of Heat 2A. And a happy Nate Brown celebrating. We see him on the helmet cam. Second place will go to the Appian Geronimo and Mitch Evans, who beat the truck gear last time they hooked up. A surprising third place for Michael Hansen and the DeWalt. Our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows the Miss Exide did not finish. The rest of the boats earning valuable points toward that winner-take-all final. And the town of Madison more than quadruples in population on race weekend. We'll be right now. Let's meet the winner of Heat 2A.
Lane 2's the charm. First heat win this year.
Is it? Yeah. Is it really? Yeah. Can we throw him in then? Are you supposed to throw? No, it's great. You know, the Steve Wilmer and the truck gear operation, I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity this year to go racing again, you know. We kind of get the brown potato chips out of the basket and we run as good as we can. And I tell you, the volunteer crew, my brother Scott Morgan, I couldn't ask for a better opportunity. And you know, Madison course is kind of a driver's course, and I felt pretty good. And old Mitch teamed up with Mark Evans that first heat, and I've been damned if I was going to give him any more than about 1 inch over that lane on the inside. So it was a good race, so it was a lot of fun.
Camaraderie and helping each other in the pit area has always been a big part of hydroplane racing, and that's the subject of today's Pico Performance Corner. The Progressive Tool Company of Detroit, sponsors of the Pico American Dream Racing Team, are in the business of designing and building assembly lines for major industries all over the world. Now, when your assembly line arrives, it's accompanied by one of these 40-foot mobile machine shops. The company has 11 of them. When the racing team saw this, they said, hey, if we had one of these in the pits, we wouldn't be looking all over town for a welder or a machine shop. The company's reaction was, okay, but it's going to be available to you and your competition. Their philosophy, we love it when our team beats you on the water, but we'll do everything we can to make sure they're out there with you. Heat 2B on the water. Once again, the fastest boats in Heats 2 go to the outside. It's Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser, a team the owner is glad to see back on top of the sport of unlimited hydroplane racing.
We're running a little better this year. We've won the last 4 in a row, 2 being the last 2 last year and the first 2 this year. The competition is within 1-2 mile an hour of it, so it's just going to be which driver can stay out of trouble. The only way they can beat me today is if we beat ourselves, and we're not going to do that.
And Bernie's boat will be way on the outside, the pace boat. Miss Budweiser next to him is the RS Easton Hotels in lane 3. Mark Tate will have a chance to redeem himself in the close call in lane 2. And Ken Muscatel running on the buoy line in the blue and white computers and applications. Now, the red boat with a long ways to go around the outside as the close call is the early leader in lane 2. But here comes the Budweiser challenging on the outside, Tom, and he does have good water out there, but he's got a long ways to go.
Well, he keeps the momentum up going through turn 1 and 2 there down the backstretch, and he's certainly got a lot of top-end speed right now. Close call running a strong second, though, heading up for the 3-4 corner.
Mark Tate in the close call in a position to challenge the Budweiser. He's on the inside, but now he fades. The close call is dropping back out of your picture to the right, and a heartbreaking day for Mark Tate, Steve Woomer, and the close call team continues. Maybe they're getting all their bad luck for the season out of the way right here, but now it's the Budweiser out ahead. You're looking at the boat that moves up into 3rd place. That's the RS Easton Hotels. The 2nd place boat is Ken Muscatel in the computers and applications. Tom, you've had days like this in racing, nothing going right for Mark Tate.
No driver wants this to happen to him on race day. Here's our Zodiac lap speed of 140 miles an hour for Miss Budweiser.
Dave Villwock in his brand new Red Rocket out ahead. The defending national champion driver moves over to the red team, and they have simply been a powerhouse so far in the 1997 season. The close call team not having a good day, but they had shown signs of improving to the point where they could run with the Budweiser. So we'll have to look for that to happen later on. This is Dr. Ken Muscatel. He lost his cowling. He's running without the cover on the engine. Will that mess up his aerodynamics at all?
I don't think it'll mess up the aerodynamics at all, but it certainly messes up the air going to the turbine engine. Those turbine engines like a lot of fresh air.
He's running in 2nd place. Dr. Ken Muscatel, the forensic psychologist out of Seattle, and this boat might need a little bit of counseling right now. He has lost the cowling somewhere, so the air is not being channeled properly into that turbine engine, but he appears to be running very well. And there you see him coming down the front straightaway from our Labatt's Eye in the Sky. That is not the way these boats are supposed to look, but it doesn't appear to affect the handling a lot.
It's not affecting the handling a lot, and Dr. Ken Muscatel is running a good, strong 2nd place finish. Everybody on that volunteer crew are going to be completely excited about it.
Now you have to wonder what happened to this boat. The close call early on. He challenged the Miss Budweiser. Then he faded badly. Now he appears to be up and running again, but things are not well aboard that boat, or he would be right here with our leader. The checkered flag is about to fly, and once again, Dave Villwock will win a heat. He is undefeated this year except for one heat where he was penalized a lap and moved back. He has won everything else he has run all year. 2nd place will go to Dr. Ken Muscatel, and there is part of the computers and applications floating on the back stretch. Our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows our first 4 boats in Heat 2B and the accumulated points on the day, 400 more for the Miss Budweiser, as this boat now in real danger of not making the final heat, as Ken Muscatel signals to one of the pickup boats to go get his cowling. Let's go down to the winner's dock.
Hey, the Ohio River's been good to you today. Boy, the guys, Dewey and Mark, they loaded up a pretty good motor right there for the boys and had an awful lot of speed coming out of that corner and up the back straightaway. So good boat ride, just keep it up.
One more section of Heat 2, and it's going on the water right now. We'll be back in Madison, Indiana in just a moment. Welcome back to Madison, Indiana. Normally about 13,000 people. Today, somewhere near 90 to 100,000 as Heat 2C goes on the water. It'll be a three-boat heat with the Pico American Dream on the inside. Mark Evans in the cockpit. Steve David and the black and yellow Prime Star is in the middle of the field making a good start. And on the outside, the piston-powered Master Tire with Rick Christensen into the first turn. And no surprise, as the defending national champion, the Pico American Dream is our early leader up the back straightaway. You put this boat on the inside, Tom, try to get around him, and that's a tall order.
That's a tall order. He's got it on cruise control. I mean, Mark Evans is doing a beautiful job all day today with 2 earlier heat wins. He's got everything going his way right now and running strong up the backstretch.
A good look there at the overlap. He has just about a 1 rooster tail advantage on Steve David, having a very good day for his new sponsor, Prime Star. If he finishes second here, he'll have 2 second-place finishes and a leg up on a spot in the front row in that final heat. And there you see Steve David out of Pompano Beach, Florida, in the Prime Star. Here is the leader, the Pico American Dream. This is the third-place boat, the piston-powered Master Tire. Tom, you've driven piston boats and turbine boats on this river. Which would you rather be in?
Oh, I'd rather be in a turbine today. Piston power just doesn't have the acceleration off the turn that the turbine boats do.
And speaking of acceleration, watch this boat. It is a rocket on the back straightaway as the Pico American Dream, our defending national champion, turns up the river, followed by Steve David in the black and yellow Prime Star, and our third-place boat, the Piston Packer. That's a brand new hull, Tom.
He's having his problems today, though. That boat just isn't performing well. Some new boat bugs.
And it's a heavier hull, trying to get through all that slop down there in the first turn. No problem for the blue boat. Just exiting your picture on the right. That's our leader, the Pico American Dream.
Stephen David, beautiful ride right now in the Miss Prime Star, 136 miles per hour in the Zodiac Fast Lap.
Less than a lap remaining now for the Pico American Dream as we look down from our Labatt's eye in the sky, and Mark Evans will score 400 more points on his way to a possible final heat matchup with the man who drove this boat to the national championship last year, Dave Vilwalk, now the pilot of Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser.
Mark Evans doing a great job. What a boat ride and plenty of speed coming down for the checkered flag.
Once again, the checkered flag will fly for the Fred Leland team out of Kirkland, Washington. That's Fred in the Dr. Seuss hat on your right. Quite the fashion plate. And the Pico American Dream is the winner of Heat 2C. Second place will go to Miss Prime Star. And after the running of Heats 2A, 2B, and 2C, this is the way the points stack up. Remember, only 6 boats in the final, only 4 in the front row. You do not see the DeWalt Tools, the local favorite, or the close call in the top 6 at this point. They're going to have to hustle. Let's go to Mark Evans, the winner of Heat 2C.
Take that one, too. Hey, running a little bit light, though, on that second lap.
Oh, yeah, just don't want to take the bumps. Let her cruise over it just a little bit. I'll have to say I got word on the radio to get her back on the water, but it's a good riding boat. She rides really fine. Pico's a good crew, good boat.
The damaged cowling of Ken Muscatel's Computers and Applications has been retrieved and will be right back in Madison. Star driver Steve David signing autographs as we go to the running of Heat 3A with the truck gear in lane 1. Nate Brown in the cockpit, Dave Vilwalk in the Bud in lane 2, Mitch Evans in the Appian Geronimo in lane 3, then Ken Muscatel in the Computers and Applications on the outside. The trailer boat back 600 feet is the close call with Mark Tate still a faint chance of making the final heat. The flag flies. We are underway. The yellow boat getting pinched a little bit. Not much room for Mitch Evans in there in the Appian Geronimo.
A little bit tight going to the first turn, but Budweiser in first place, Nate Brown on the inside in second, Ken Muscatel in Computers and Applications rounding the corner.
Our trailer boat coming up fast. Oh, look at the ride Nate Brown is getting as he battles the truck gear through that first turn. I was about to mention that the close call of Mark Tate was coming up very hard on the outside, and you'll see him in a moment in pursuit of the leader. Still with an outside chance of making the final heat, but he would have to win this one. And there he is now moving ahead of Ken Muscatel.
He's in a strong second place on the outside, right on the hip of the Miss Budweiser, rounding that 3-4 corner. Budweiser well in the lead, though. Beautiful ride.
The other 4 boats in the heat are all in one rooster tail. Back behind the Budweiser, and we'll wait for them to sort out a bit as Dave Vilwalk comes down to finish the first lap. And now the close call Mark Tate has moved up into second place. Tom, he has to pass the Budweiser if he has any chance of making the final heat.
He's really got it aired out. You saw a lot of air underneath that right sponson. There's the crew rooting him on. The boat airborne and just flying.
Through that rough first turn, Dave Villwalk with more than a rooster tail lead as he starts up the backstretch. He's about halfway through this heat, and look at the ride Nate's getting.
Nate's getting pounded, and he's back steering a lot coming off the corner. The boat's just not handling good in that sloppy water.
When we've gone to that helmet cam and he was in the lead, it was a lot different ride than it is back here.
Well, we've got Appy and Geronimo just neck and neck with Miss Truck here, Nate Brown, going up the backstretch.
And that's our race for third place, as the second place boat is up. We got problems.
Ken Muscatel hooked the boat in turn 4 there and T-boned a buoy.
And the doctor will be penalized a lap, even if he's able to get up and running again. Mark Tate in the close call. You can almost see the frustration the way he's driving that boat.
Well, he's doing a beautiful job. He's got to run the Miss Budweiser down to have any shot at all of making the final heat. He's given it all he's got.
But it's a tall order. No one has gone around the Budweiser all year. Here's a good race. Back for third place, the Truck Gear and the Appy and Geronimo. You saw Ken Muscatel getting underway again. 145 miles an hour. That's a fast lap.
Extremely fast for this tight race course. The Budweiser has it all together today.
And another checkered flag for Dave Villwalk and Miss Budweiser. The best that Mark Tate can come up with is a close call in second place. Third place will go to the Truck Gear. Fourth to the Appy and Geronimo with Mitch Evans aboard. And for Dr. Ken Muscatel and the computers and applications, there will be better days. This is the way they finished Heat 3A and accumulated points on the day. Miss Budweiser, perfect so far.
Dave, another victory for the Big Red team.
Boy, that boat's really running. That's just, you know, that's another new combination, and Ronnie Brown put together, and looks like it's running pretty good.
Heat 3B goes on the water. The last chance to earn points toward the final when we come back to... Welcome back to the Indiana Governor's Cup for unlimited hydroplanes. Our last preliminary, Heat 3B, is on the water. The Pico American Dream in lane 1. Then the RS Easton Hotels, Miss Prime Star. And on the outside, the DeWalt Mike Hansen. As they take the green flag to start, it's the yellow boat in the lead.
Michael Hansen with a beautiful start. Anticipated that start perfectly on the outside, leading going to the first turn.
But now you see the disadvantage, having to run wide, and all three boats on the inside making up water. Steve David got in trouble in the Prime Star. He got into the rooster tail of Mark Webber in the RS Easton, and he is down in the water.
That's not bothering our leader, though. Mark Evans rocketing down the backstretch and entering the 3-4 corner. Beautiful boat ride going through that turn.
The Pico American Dream down the front straightaway, followed by the second place boat. Finally having a good heat is Mike Hansen in the local favorite, the DeWalt Tools, as he comes under the bridge.
Problems in that corner for Mark Webber in the U99. He hooked it and spun out, got caught between a couple of rooster tails.
His teammate, the Pico American Dream, continues to lead. A Zodiac timed lap of 142 miles per hour. The second place boat is the DeWalt, running that lap at 135 with Mike Hansen, the local driver from Madison, Indiana, in the cockpit.
There's our leader, Mark Evans, rounding the 3-4 corner, heading to the front straightaway, and his teammate, Mark Webber, getting restarted, joining the fray.
Whoa, a little airtime for Michael Hansen in the DeWalt as he continues to pursue the Pico American Dream. Important that Mark Webber was able to restart this boat, the RS Easton. He may still have a shot at the final heat if he finishes here.
The two boats that had problems earlier are up and running, so all 5 boats are back in the race again.
This is the RS Easton, Mark Webber in the cockpit. The Pico American Dream, her sister ship right there, has slightly different graphics. The two red, white, and blue boats look a lot alike. This one carries U1, the defending national champion, with Mark Evans on his way to another checkered flag and 400 points. Both he and rival Dave Villwalk and Miss Budweiser, perfect days so far. They will both be in the front row of the final heat, but one of them will have his perfect day ended at that point.
Mark Webber running third right there. He was co-rookie of the year with this driver, Rick Christensen.
Rick Christensen and the Master Tire started way back in the trailer position. They are running fourth now and nearing the end of the race as the Pico American Dream will turn left for the last time. He will lap the Master Tire as he comes down to take the checkered flag and 400 more points. That'll put him in the front row in the winner-take-all final heat. The winner of Heat 3B, Mark Evans in the Pico American Dream. Second place will go to Michael Hansen in the DeWalt Tools.
And those 300 points will make him the trailer boat in the final heat.
Third place, Mark Webber, who does a nice job of getting the RS Easton up and running again after early problems in this heat. And there you see our accumulated points as we go into the final. The Pico and the Bud, perfect so far. The Truck Gear and the RS Easton will join them in the front row. Our defending champion, Mark Tate, and the close call does not make the final heat. Nor does Steve David.
Another victory from lane 1.
Okay, we're lined up now, man. Let's see what happens in the final. I'm ready. How'd my mate do? Weber.
Mark hooked in one of the laps, but he finished third.
Okay, two Leland boats and one Pico out front. That's good, man. We're ready for the final.
And the other Evans brother Mitch will be in the final heat as the second trailer in the Appian Geronimo when we come back to Madison, Indiana. As we watch Nate Brown in the Truck Gear pull onto the race course, his teammate Mark Tate in the close call on the beach.
Mark, defending champion last year, but not today. Boat racing is frustrating.
Well, very frustrating weekend for the close call team this year, and we'll just have to regroup and fire some new darts next week.
So Mark Tate will be a spectator as our final heat comes down to take the green flag. The Pico American Dream in lane 1. Miss Budweiser had first choice and took lane 2. The Truck Gear is in lane 3. The RS Easton Hotel's out in lane 4. And there are 2 trailer boats. But the first 4 are into the first turn.
Side-by-side racing. Pico on the inside, Budweiser on the outside, dueling it side by side.
Mark Evans doing a great job of getting the Pico through that tight first turn, and now he goes side by side with the Miss Budweiser up the back straightaway at nearly 190 miles an hour. The Tate family looking on. You know that Mark would like to be out there now into this critical third and fourth turn, Tom.
Well, Budweiser just flew it there just before the bridge, caught some air, but now we're rocketing into this 3-4 corner, and Pico's on the inside. Whoa, he got right through the rooster tail, flamed out.
We said the Budweiser had first choice and took lane 2. Mark Evans and the Pico American Dream had to decide whether to take lane 1 and chance the inside or go to the outside. They felt their only chance to beat Dave Vilwalk and the red boat was to go inside, Tom, and it cost him.
Well, that's what the fans were waiting for all day long, was for the Pico and the Budweiser to get hooked up side by side. The Zodiac lap time on that first lap, 145 miles an hour.
Looking at it one more time, Mark Evans gets into the rooster tail of the Miss Budweiser. Tom, you've been there, and it's no fun.
Well, you're totally blinded to start with, and now the boat's in the meat of the tail. It's grabbing its fin, and it's hooking out.
That, of course, put out the fire. The Pico American Dream coasted to a stop, and Dave Vilwalk sailed off into a huge lead in the Miss Budweiser. Back to the action now as Vilwalk and the Miss Bud build a big lead. You can see the second place boat now is well back as they come through turns 3 and 4. And look who it is. It's Nate Brown in the Truck Gear. So Steve Woomer's team could end up with second place after all. This young man having a great day in Steve Woomer's second boat.
There's Michael Hansen in the Miss DeWalt Tools hometown favorite, 4th place.
They had hoped to do better today, but this team seems to struggle when they are racing here at home. Mark Webber currently in 3rd place in the RS Easton, and in 2nd place, Nate Brown.
Well, we're looking at this through a camera lens. Nate Brown has better peripheral vision and can see a lot better.
The leader, Dave Vilwalk, in Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser, on his way to a much easier victory here in the final heat than he or anyone else would have anticipated. Look now at the huge lead he has. He's the only boat in the picture as he comes through the 3rd and 4th corners for the last time. Dave Vilwalk down to take the checkered flag, and he will win the 1997 Indiana Governor's Cup in Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser. Second place will go to Nate Brown in Steve Woomer's Miss Truck Gear. 3rd to Fred Leland's RS Easton Hotels, Mark Webber in the cockpit. Disappointment for teammate Mark Evans, who loses his tail feathers and does not finish. Our final order of finish with points earned on the day, 1,600 points for Miss Budweiser, gives him a commanding lead in the O'Doul's Series high points for the season. The celebration continues in the Budweiser camp. Tom Deeth is there.
Dave, 3 in a row and first victory for you in Madison.
Yeah, that's special. I mean, I think we found, you know, when Mark Tate, last year's winner, couldn't make the final, it's sad for them, but that's what happens here in Madison, is just anything can happen. So I'm just so appreciative that Budweiser and Ronnie Brown and the rest of this crew put together such a great race boat all weekend long and just kept us up front, you know. So I just can't thank them more. I'm so appreciative to be with this group right now. So thanks, and can't wait to get to the next race.